A friend hits you up with a last-minute request. You're completely wiped, your social battery is at zero, but you still hear yourself saying, yes. And then that wave of instant regret washes over you, leaving you feeling stretched thin and a little resentful. If you feel like you're constantly trying to make everyone else happy, even when it costs you, you are not alone. And I promise, it's not your fault. For a highly sensitive person, this isn't just a bad habit, it's practically a survival instinct. So today, we're going to get into the real reason why HSPs are so prone to people-pleasing and, more importantly, how you can finally start to break free. I have spent years untangling myself from the habit of putting everyone else first. Through my own journey, I've learned that getting to the root of this behavior is everything. So our plan for today is pretty simple. First, we'll understand the why behind the people-pleasing, and then I'll walk you through 4 powerful ways to start putting yourself first, without feeling all that guilt. So, why is saying no just so ridiculously hard for us? It's not a character flaw. It all comes down to our finely tuned nervous systems. First off, as an HSP, your empathy is dialed way up. You don't just notice if someone is upset, you can literally feel their stress in your own body. Some researchers believe this might be linked to a more active mirror neuron system, making you incredibly tuned in to how others are feeling. To avoid that yucky feeling of absorbing someone's disappointment or anger, you do whatever it takes to keep things smooth even if it means ignoring what you need. Second, HSPs tend to have a deep-seated fear of conflict. We process every little thing so intensely that just the idea of a disagreement can feel totally overwhelming. We'll replay conversations in our heads, analyze every tiny shift in tone, and worry about what might happen next. People-pleasing becomes a shield to avoid all that inner chaos. Just saying yes feels so much safer than risking an argument. And finally, for so many of us, this stuff started in childhood. If you grew up in a home where you felt like you had to earn love and approval, you learned fast that being agreeable was the best way to feel safe and seen. You got really good at sensing what other people needed to keep the peace. That was a brilliant survival skill back then, but now it's a subconscious habit that just leaves you feeling drained and disconnected from who you really are. Knowing the why is a huge step, but the real change comes from having actual tools. Here are 4 things you can start trying today. Method 1. Take a minute to check in with yourself. Before you can honor your needs, you have to actually know what they are. People pleasers get used to living from the outside in, always scanning other people for clues. Your first job is to flip that around. Start a small practice of checking in with yourself. Before you say yes or no to anything, just pause. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? What do I actually want to do? You can do this by journaling, meditating, or even just sitting in silence for a minute. This builds the self-awareness you need to break the cycle. Method 2. Learn to love the pause. When you're used to saying yes on autopilot, the pause is your new best friend. It's the best way to stop that impulse, agreeing. When someone asks you for something, instead of answering right away, use a simple buffer phrase. Something like, "Let me check my calendar and get right back to you," or "I need a second to think about that." This gives you the space to actually do method 1. Check in with how you're feeling and what you have the capacity for. It pulls you out of that reactive mode and puts you back in charge. Method 3. Think of boundaries as self-respect. For an HSP, the idea of setting a boundary can bring up so much guilt. It can feel like we're being mean or selfish. This is where we need a major mindset shift. A boundary isn't you rejecting someone, it's you respecting yourself. Saying no to something you don't have the energy for isn't about pushing someone away. It's about protecting your own well-being so you can show up as your best self when you do choose to give. Just remember, every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to yourself. Method 4. Stop taking responsibility for other people's feelings. Okay, this might be the toughest one. As an empath, you're wired to feel like you have to manage the emotional vibe of every room you're in. You have to gently start reminding yourself that how other people react is their responsibility, not yours. If your no disappoints someone, that feeling is theirs to manage. You can be kind and compassionate without becoming their caretaker. Letting people have their own feelings without you rushing in to fix them is one of the most freeing things you can do. If this is all making sense to you, make sure you subscribe and hit that little notification bell. Look, breaking the people-pleasing habit is a journey. It takes time, it takes practice, and it takes a whole lot of kindness toward yourself. Start small. Pick the easiest, lowest stakes situations to practice on and build from there. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it really is a superpower. When you learn to protect your energy and listen to your own needs, you can give to the world from a place of genuine fullness, not from an empty tank. You are not selfish for having needs, you are human. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these methods are you thinking of trying first? Sharing what you're going through can help so many other people who feel the exact same way. Thanks for being here today.